Good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday evening liturgy. We are lighting the prayer candle. The prayer candle is now lit. This candle symbolizes much more than just prayer. It symbolizes prayer, the presence of God, hope, which is present in all of our lives because of the presence of God. It also symbolizes community, as we are all together around the fire or the flame of the candle. The invocation for today, for Tuesday: creating God, turn our thoughts to the past, use our memories to transform others and to continue to transform ourselves. Glory to the greatest manifestation of love, God. The psalm is Psalm 77, verses 11 to 12 and 15. O Lord, I remember the things you have done, your miracles of long ago. I will think about each of your mighty deeds. With your own arm you rescued your people, the descendants of Jacob and of Joseph. The Christian scripture reading is found in Acts chapter 13, verses 16 to 41. I'm not going to read all that for you because you may want to read it over yourself. It gets into a bit of detail there. Basically what happening there is we see Paul getting up to give a bit of a sermon, and he goes through some of the history of Israel and looks at how Jesus kind of fits within the prophecy of who the Messiah may be. So that's kind of a very condensed version of what we're seeing take place in the early portions of that reading for today. Then with verse 29, when they had done all the prophecies said about him, they took him down from the cross and placed him in a tomb. But God raised him from the dead. Over a period of many days, he appeared to those who had gone with him from Galilee to Jerusalem. They are now his witnesses to the people of Israel. And now we are here to bring you the good news, the promise that was made to our ancestors. And God has now fulfilled it for us, their descendants, by raising Jesus. This is what the second psalm says about Jesus. You are my son. Today I have become your father. And then I read down to verse 38 to about 39. And those are in bold in this particular book, the Bible, into here, because they're very important elements of the reading. Brothers, listen. We are here to proclaim that through this man Jesus, there is forgiveness from your sins. Everyone who believes in him is declared right with God, something the law of Moses could never do. Just a brief comment. There's a lot of value in the law. It gives us a sense of how we should behave, how we should treat people. Those things are actually kind of important. What the law doesn't do is bring us freedom, because the law convicts us and it leaves us condemned because we've broken the law. And the point that Paul is making is through Jesus, there is now no condemnation. Moving into the prayers for today, we're praying for the many people across America who are grieving the loss of loved ones, colleagues, neighbors, classmates, and others due to mass shootings and due to other forms of gun violence. So far this year, I believe there's been over one mass shooting per day. And it used to be the old stat that I used was over 100 people a day were being shot in gun violence across America. So that's a small city every year. Praying for Turkey and Syria as they rebuild after they had a series of earthquakes, for peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan, between Russia and Ukraine, peace in in Sudan, and peace in the Middle East. We are praying for a number of families where there's been loss. Family that lost a father, another family that lost a father and a grandfather, family that lost a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. For a person who came out to family and was rejected, and for all who've lost family because of that. We're also praying for a number of people who have cancer. A person who turned 15 who's fighting cancer. person who celebrated a birthday in the hospital because of cancer. An individual who's in stage 4 of cancer and has had stage 4 cancer before. Person with lung cancer. For a person who's had 3 cancer operations and is in stage 4 of cancer. And for a person who is amazingly creative and very, very talented and skilled, and somehow is practicing all those wonderful skills while receiving treatments for cancer. Praying for a person who had an eye checkup, and it looks like the eyes are doing better than they have in a long time. We're praying for continued healing for the eyes. Praying for an LGBT plus person who sometimes feels discouraged and isolated. Praying for a person who's had a lot of foot pain and knee pain. Praying for a baby that's been on our prayer list, I think, for about 20 months, give or take a little bit. This baby has been in and out of the hospital a number of times. We're praying that medication will continue to work. We're praying for the baby's health and well-being. We're praying for the doctors and nurses who are medical team helping keep the baby healthy. We're praying for the parents predominantly they are, we shouldn't say predominantly, but also because they are the predominant care providers for this child. As we continue our prayers for those who are not well, we're praying for 3 people who have dementia, for their families and their care providers. We're extending that prayer to include all people around the world who have dementia, those who love them and care for them intensely because they are family, and for those who've become essentially family because they care for them every day, not just because they love them and grew up with them. We are praying for people who have mental illnesses, and specifically on my list are 2 people who have had a pretty rough time the last few months. A person who has PTSD and a person who has bipolar disorder. We're praying for an end to the pandemic. There's still people dying of COVID. It's not probably quite as bad as it was, but it's still a very rough disease for many people. Praying for a person who has AIDS, and for a person who's looking after sick family members, as well as those the person is caring for. And now we are shifting gears as we move to praying for members of different world religions and faith traditions. Today our prayers are with Catholic, Old Catholic, and Orthodox Christians. Today we also pray for evangelical Christians who may identify as Pentecostal or Baptist. We're praying for those who have unspoken prayers, prayers that are so personal they may not be able to mention them on social media, or for prayers that are so challenging, so difficult, so trying, that they cannot be even expressed in human words. We conclude our time of prayer together with the Our Father. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And as we end our time together, I'm going to extinguish the candle, which you can see burning there. This candle of community, of hope, of prayer. But even though the candle is being extinguished here, as I extinguish the candle, it lights the candle of God's love and hope and community and prayer in your heart, so that it will continue throughout the week.